First of all, it's hot out there, isn't it? My goodness. Second though, just kind of had this little analogy in prayer. I don't know if it was more of a distraction or God was showing to tell me something, but a lot of times parishes, they have these bus trips, okay? And these bus trips usually consist of people, let's just say people who have lots of life experience and lots of wisdom, okay? All right? So these people who have lots of life experience and wisdom, they get on this bus and they travel to a place called Atlantic City, or now that in Pennsylvania we have them now, they go maybe to Lehigh Valley or to Philadelphia, and they get out and then they, with their small amounts of money, they put their money in these machines, and they're hoping to get a big, large jackpot. Okay, and so they'll do that. And the thing about it is that these casinos, obviously, is what I'm describing. These casinos they're quite magnificent to look at. The floor, the ceilings, the design, the artistic, the architecture. Very beautiful to look at. And there's a reason why they look so glamorous. Is because every single machine that you play at the casino, every table game, everything that you do there, the odds are not in one's favor. The house always wins in the long run. Even if you win the jackpot, if you stay there long enough after you win the jackpot, the casino's going to get it all back. That's how it's designed, But people are willing to spend small amounts of money. They're able to let it go. To let the nickels go, to let the quarters go, to let the dollars go. They let it go, they give it up, they hand it over to the house, hoping to win something much greater. And so with that analogy now, let's compare that now to the first reading from Hebrews. You have people coming into the Christian faith, okay? The author begins with, after you have been enlightened, which is a kind of code name for the word baptism. After you have been baptized, you start to hand things over, okay? And some of the things that you hand over is what? One, your reputation. He says, at times you were publicly exposed to abuse and affliction. And at other times you associated yourself with those being retreated. So when you became enlightened, when you became baptized, the first thing that you did was you handed over your reputation. You became the laughingstock of the community. You gave it over. But then some of you joyfully accepted the confiscation of your property. You handed over everything that you had. You put the nickels in the slot machine, hoping to win the jackpot. And some even handed over their lives. So these early Christians, but the life of every Christian is all about handing it over. But where the analogy to the casino fails is that when you hand it over and when you let it go, when you let go your reputation, your property, even your lives, when you let it go, you give it to the world in order to attain a greater prize, okay? The greater prize in Hebrews would be what? The entrance into the heavenly sanctuary, into the divine love and presence of God. The analogy fails because it's the best bet you're ever going to make in your life. You're going to win. That's where the analogy fails. The casinos, you're going to lose. You're going to lose eventually everything. The house always wins. It's set up that way. But in this case, when we hand over the small things, the things where in the whole scheme of things, the whole scheme of creation and the whole scheme of God, things like our property and even our reputation among the world, and even this life that's prone to weakness and eventually death anyways, we let it go. Not hold on to it, not cling on it, but be willing to let it go. We will attain that divine love, the divine intimacy, the divine life of God, and eternal life, the jackpot. And it's a bet that you give it over to the Lord, you hand it over, you let it go. You're always going to win. May God bless you.